Me again. This is going to be a real quick video. Somebody asked about my leading techniques. Well, my leading techniques really aren't any better. I would like to think that maybe they're close to Michael Rivley's from Wasabi Studios. You know, basic leading is just basic leading. I mean, there's some things to look for. You know, like when your lead came in your window and you want it to come up to the line. Well, you know, I use a ballpoint pen to make my copies with carbon paper. So if I get it up to the line, that's almost too tight. If I need to do any grinding, yeah, it needs to be almost inside the line a little bit, because this line is now a 1/16 of an inch. In some cases I need to do a little bit of grinding here. But one thing I wanted to point out was that somebody asked about, I'm going to move the camera. Somebody had asked about, oh, how do you get your tight gaps on your jewels? Okay, well, this is a jewel I'm using. Okay, one thing I do, because I've got 7 of these things to do, you know, I find a pipe, broomstick, something round about the same diameter as the jewel. Okay, and then I wrap the lead around this. See that? And then I can take my nippers, my lead dikes, and cut it off. Now, let's see. It's better to have a little bit of waste than to have it too loose. Okay? So, now this is just about it's a little bit big, so we take the nippers, pull it back a little bit, cut a little bit of it off. That's not a straight cut. Let's try that again, right there. Okay, and fold it around. Okay, and you can tell if it's too loose. See, that's too loose. So we have to trim a little bit more off. A lot of you folks, it seems like, are way too quick to be trimming your lead off before you get the next piece of glass to fit in there and mark where you're going to cut your lead off to get a good fit. Don't be so quick to trim your lead back before you get another piece fit in there. See, that's still a little loose. Okay, it's still a little loose. See that? See that? You see that? So we're going to trim one more time and straighten that cut out just a hair. Okay, fold it back over, and that's somewhat tight. Somewhat tight. And then I would take my glazing hammer, hammer it down slightly. That's how I get my tight cuts on my jewels. Very simple. Very simple. And then, of course, you know, wherever you put a jewel, you make sure that you have your cut, your splice, where there's another joint to hide it. You don't splice something out in the middle of nowhere, if at all possible. So, tight joints on jewels, that's how I do it. Thank you.